Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So the summer is finally here and we've actually already had a chance to get away to the seaside for a little while, which inspired me to make this episode because I think that summer holidays can be a fantastic time to help your child make progress in their multilingual journey. How can we do it? Let's have a look at a few ideas. Most multilingual families will struggle a little bit with finding enough exposure to the minority language, so the one that's not spoken in the community where they live. For us, however, this year, it's actually the other way around. And if you're using the minority language at home method like we are, then you might relate. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that we have 3 languages in our family, and that's English, Polish and French, and we're currently living in Poland. So generally the plan was that our child would go to the local nursery and then preschool and get a lot of exposure to Polish there, while we speak English and French exclusively at home. And that worked really well in the beginning, but then the pandemic came and literally ruined everything because our child couldn't go to preschool anymore, he couldn't see his grandparents or aunties and uncles here in Poland anymore. Like most of you, I'm guessing we've been isolated. And it has its good sides as well because our son's French has improved enormously now that he's spending so much time with his dad as we're working from home and taking care of our son at home as well. But his Polish, which is the majority language, has fallen behind, to be totally honest. So this summer we've actually been looking for ways to increase his exposure to Polish. Now, I understand that not every idea discussed here will be applicable to every family or situation, but hopefully you'll find something here that will be useful for you. If you've ever traveled with kids, you know they get bored super fast, no matter which mode of transportation you use. And so we can use this time to help their language skills while keeping them entertained. One thing you can do, especially if you're traveling by car, but not only, is to have some audiobooks ready and listen to them as a family, even if one of the parents is not necessarily fluent in that language. And make sure you pause the story once in a while and get that opportunity to ask your children some questions about it. See if they really understand what's happening and what they can remember so far. You can also play at predicting what's going to happen next in the story, or perhaps what the ending will be like, etc. Another idea is to play some family language games. You can check out one of my older episodes for some inspiration. I think it should be up here at this point, hopefully. I think the link should be showing up here at this point, hopefully. But just to give you a few quick examples now, it can be something like I Spy. It can be naming things in various categories. For example, vehicles. Everybody takes a turn to say one name of a vehicle, like a car or a train, and you keep going around until you run out of ideas. It can also be little riddles that you make up for each other, or perhaps you can have some fun finding words that rhyme. Again, if you're traveling by car, then another great thing you can do is, you know it's coming, sing songs! Yes, as I always say, songs are fantastic for language development and the whole family can sing them together. When we travel, there might be quite a lot of waiting around, whether it's at an airport or queuing for a tourist attraction, or even just in a restaurant or waiting for your meal to arrive. At times like that, what I like to bring is some language aids. I always make sure to buy some new books or quizzes or riddles before we leave so that my child really gets excited about them because it's something new. And of course, they are always in the language that I want my child to improve. And then when we're sitting in a restaurant and waiting for our meal, and normally our child would be getting bored, this is when I take them out and he's very keen to do something with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No właśnie, to będzie takim. I teraz, a które zwierzątko jest
Tam je
piąte?
wiedziałem.
No.
I teraz tego nie wiem.
A które zwierzątko?
Ślina.
Tak.
Another thing we like to do is to look for these kind of natural, very organic opportunities to use the language. So for example, our child is now at an age where he's beginning to read. So while sitting in a restaurant, we'd open the menu and we'd show him the dessert section, for example. And we'd say, have a look and you read these to us and then you can pick any dessert you want. So he was very motivated to do that reading. Also, you can use the menu or one of those boards they often have with the specials written on it to play some little language games. You can, for example, give your child one specific word to find on that board. Or you can also say, oh, can you see any words beginning with the letter D, for example. Also, our son now has a little bit of pocket money and he wanted to spend it while on holiday. He wanted to buy a couple of toys. So we encouraged him to go to the shop assistant and ask the price, for example, or ask for some details or for them to show the toy to him, just so that he'd have this opportunity to speak to someone in the target language. What's great about holidays is that you often get to meet some new people and maybe even make some new friends. And so that's another way for your child to get that language exposure and to practice his minority or, in our case, majority language skills. In our case, we had it pretty easy actually, because one of the first days at the beach, this boy we didn't know came over and asked our son if he wanted to play together. So they had a lovely hour playing and chatting in Polish, and I was like, yay, free language practice. Also, the owner of the seaside resort we were staying in was very chatty and she loved talking to our boy, asking him about his day and what he was planning to do, so that was great too. And our son surprised us as well by chatting to waiters, for example, asking them different questions and showing them the things that he was doing in his book. One more thing we did was we used that opportunity that we weren't so rushed with our everyday responsibilities to get in touch with my side of the family a little bit more and again give those Polish language skills a boost. So we got our son to speak to his granny on the phone for a while, and a while ago we also had him write a little thank you note to his grandparents for a gift he got. Then there is of course postcards that you can send, or even if you're just writing an email in the target language, you can get your child involved, you can ask them what they'd like to say, and perhaps they can help you pick some photos to attach. It can also be a fun way to get that language practice in. Now that we're back from our summer break, we are looking for different ways to keep boosting those Polish language skills. So one thing that we've done is sign up our child for a day camp. Of course, this year it's easy for us because again, we're living in Poland and we're looking to expand his Polish language skills. So of course, there are plenty of different day camps we can choose from. But then even if we were looking for something in English or in French, there are also quite a few of those available, at least here where we live. So hopefully you'll be able to find something in your area as well. And finally, one last idea is to get involved with the local community. In our case, even though our son hasn't been going to his preschool because of COVID, we have kept in touch with one of the families from there. We again have been very lucky because actually in our child's preschool, in his group, which was only 20 children or so, there was another child whose parents were Polish and French. And actually our children became best friends without knowing about this language connection. So we started meeting up with this family before the pandemic, and now we've continued this whenever we can. We get the children together. So again, it's a great language practice, and of course it's wonderful for their friendship. Of course, this is a very specific situation, but other than that, there are quite a few local communities where you can meet up with other people who speak the same languages. So it's definitely worth asking around and doing your research online. Alright, so these were some ideas from me. And how are you going to boost your child's language skills this summer? Please let me know in the comment section. In the meantime, I wish you all a lovely summer and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye!